A restaurant owner gives care packages to motorcycle taxi drivers. A slender woman who carries her family and life's burden with smiles and songs. Welcome to Dia Headlines. I'm Jenny Lee. Thank you for joining us. The coronavirus epidemic is a major health crisis in Indonesia. In Jakarta, as social restrictions take place, motorcycle taxi drivers can now only deliver food, not passengers. A city volunteers who owns a vegetarian restaurant prepared 1,000 care packages for these drivers, helping them to get through this difficult time.
A Southeast Asian version of Uber is operating in Indonesia, normally taking people on motorcycles and cars into the small lanes and major streets of the city. Now with social restrictions in place, they can only deliver food.
Before social restrictions went into place, I could do 20 trips a day. But now, just 10 trips is quite good, as I really worry about how I am going to survive.
Understanding the pain of these delivery drivers, Cindy Lee, a city volunteer who operates a vegetarian restaurant, prepared 1,000 care packages to the delivery drivers who service this restaurant.
The care packages that we give to motorcycle drivers give them encouragement, as the epidemic will eventually pass, as everything operates according to natural law. We have to learn from this test. We shouldn't worry, as everything will pass.
Each care package contains 5 kilograms of rice, 2 kilograms of sugar, and 2 liters of cooking oil, and 20 packs of instant noodles.
This care package is a great help to us. During the epidemic, our incomes has seen a steep decline, though we still need to pay our loans, even though we are suffering a severe economic impact.
This motorcycle taxi driver is now restricted to food delivery, though getting this care package during this time of need has been a blessing and shows there is still compassion between people.
Before South Africa's movement restriction order, volunteers from Zambia, Malawi, and Namibia came to South Africa to exchange their experiences. They went on home visits together to provide rice and love to care recipients.
Volunteers sing to bring liveliness to these care recipients' home. Coming from different countries in Africa, they care about the care recipients' painful leg.
Does it hurt? Your skin should be soft, not hard like the way it is now. If you feel pain when we press it, there is something wrong with your leg.
Volunteers give their advice to the care recipient. The new volunteer sees the opportunity to learn to write a home visit report. Volunteers continue their home visits with love. Besides giving red envelopes of blessing and wisdom, they also give out rice with an explanation.
This is not just a bag of rice. It represents love. When you cook it, you will feel every grain of rice comes with love. You can cook the rice to eat. Add some water. It will provide you with nutrition and help heal your knee.
Volunteers from different countries gather in Durban, project the image on the wall they're learning together.
Regardless of people's religious beliefs, we should provide them with love indiscriminately.
While COVID-19 is spreading around the globe, Malaysia's city volunteers use actions to show their love. Volunteers send protective medical equipment to hospitals and provide financial assistance to underprivileged families. Take a look.
The epidemic disrupts the rhythm of our lives, but love is always a remedy for the mind.
I must wipe them clean so it's safe to the medical personnel when they're using them.
During this critical time, Malaysia Tzu Chi volunteers are mobilized to give help.
不能蹲，这样不呢？怎么不能蹲？你也要洗啊，这样辛苦。这个救人啊，人家需要去帮忙啊。
From March 17th to April 3rd, Tzu Chi Malaysia chapter and the Tzu Chi Kedah office provided all kinds of medical equipment and financial assistance. These goods include a lot of love. On this day, 3,000 face shields are sent to Chow Kong Yeow, Chief Minister of Penang.
Tough time makes us tougher. Penang lawan COVID-19.
We wanted to give to the state government and hand over to them so that they will know which are the frontliners who badly need the face shields and they don't have the supplies.
We are facing, I believe, one of the greatest crises today, and we must work together to overcome this crisis. Obey the order of the government, stay at home, stay safe, and this is a time for us to look inside ourselves and to be a better person when everything is over.
The epidemic will be over someday, but the love from people will never cease.
Hospitals are the most critical frontline in facing a pandemic. In the following report, we will introduce you a hospital commander, Zhao Youchen, who is also the superintendent of Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital. We will see how he makes every decision in planning epidemic prevention and how he handles the challenges and pressures.
今天增加23例，总共达到100例。
医院是大家防疫的最重要的地方，要守得住。
没有时间害怕。
Every morning at 8 o'clock is the epidemic prevention meeting time in Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital. Here can be regarded as the epidemic prevention center of the hospital because through discussion of various medical experts and related administrative operation reports, the hospital's reaction plan to the novel coronavirus is designed here.
It's all clean. Wearing a mask, maybe you know this is right, but how is it wrong? How can it be transmitted? You need to think about that to obtain a scene.
Superintendent Zhao Youchen presides over the meeting. This scene reminded him of the heavy blow of SARS given to Taiwan in 2003. At that time, Zhao Youchen was the director of Internal Medicine Department of the Tri-Service General Hospital and was responsible for the schedule of the doctors treating SARS patients.
Taipei City Hospital Heping branch was closed, and so did the ER of the National Taiwan University Hospital. That time, because we're facing an unknown illness, if we send out a doctor to support, we don't know if he would come back alive.
It is unexpected that similar respiratory infections appeared again so quickly. From the central authority to the local government, they hope to use advanced deployment methods to reduce the damage caused by the epidemic. How to formulate the hospital's frontline epidemic prevention work? This actually relies on the wisdom of every decision maker.
First, don't create excessive panic. Second, don't let the patients gather together. Third, consider the benefit of doing such thing, what you are trying to prevent.
Looking at the developments of the epidemics throughout the world, the collapse of the medical system is an important factor that causes a significant increase in patient mortality. Therefore, special attention is paid to the health management of the medical team itself.
Including every doctor, every nurse, and other people. Does he, she has a runny nose, coughing, or mild fever? It's for every employee in the hospital.
Knowing the health status of medical team members and enforcing strict infection control are the basic skills of hospital epidemic prevention. Once the hospital fails, it will cause great harm. As the frontline commander, Zhao Youchen is under pressure.
I always face the stress if something happened to a colleague who will take close care of a patient, but after all, I have religious belief. I think the Master gave me a lot of strength. Whenever I meet her or talk to her on the phone, she often said, "Superintendent, ease your mind, it will be safe."
This epidemic has greatly hurt many countries that are considered to be the lead in medicine and healthcare today. In this battle between humans and virus that has not yet seen its end, Zhao Youchen has led a medical team with a prudent and pious heart to safeguard people's health.
Mai Yiting is the sole breadwinner of her family. Her slender physique shoulders a heavy burden, but her optimism never fails her. Years ago, her husband suffered from an accident and fell ill. She said when she was in most desperate need, Tzu Chi volunteers came to her like angels sent from heaven.
We've rented this metal house for almost 6 years. It's hot in the summer and freezing in the winter. He fell down around Lunar New Year, so he's been lying on the bed and cannot go to work. I hope he'll get well soon. This is lemongrass and this is ginger, so I boiled them to soak his feet. If I didn't care for him this way, his 2 legs would deteriorate. He has been unable to walk for 5 years. He had a job, but after he fell down, he lost his work, and now he's sick, so I'm very worried. I cry every day, but nobody knows that.
会啊，
不痛吗？
会啊，
没有痛，
会啊，
没有痛，我再出力。让他痛，他的脚都会死掉啊。
全部会痛啊。
现在不会痛了哈，那这快100公斤，剩46公斤啊。45公斤啊。
感谢他照顾我。
I thank her for caring for me. Without her, I will die.
The doctor said his feet won't recover forever because he's crippled. His legs were stiff and could not move, but now his legs are better after I've been doing this. I won't give up on him.
对呀，翻过来，翻过来，走过去，不用搬，不用搬，这样fin。他在医院6个月。
He was hospitalized for 6 months, so I had to pay every day. What should I do? Then I met our brothers and sisters who helped me by buying milk for him, paying for our son's tuition, and paying for our rent.
帮我缴房租钱啊。
吃饱饭了哈？吃饱了。好棒哦，青菜、萝卜，哦，可以煮汤。
拿菜呀，还有拿牛奶呀。 还有米粉啊，你看啊，还有米啊，
哦，还有米，陈先生，我们来看你了，精神有没有好一点？
第一次看到先生的时候
When we first visited him, he was so skinny, just like a tree branch, and his cheeks had sunken in. We were stunned at why he was so thin, so our hearts went out to him.
这个同情心呢，就油然而生。
老天爷派天神。
The heavens sent these angels to us. I'm grateful to their help for the past 5 years.
应该的啦。
Without Tzu Chi, we wouldn't be here today. We wouldn't have future.
Her low back had a surgery. It's not easy for her to do labor work because it hurts, but she still hangs in there. She tries her best. So she is a wonderful mother and also a very wonderful wife.
Because Tzu Chi has been helping us a lot, so we must pay back to society.
今天开始懂事了呢，我儿子呢。哎呀，我宝贝今天开始懂事了啊！抱一下，抱一下。
来，这个我来踩。
以前前面我就。
I used to sell them with my scooter, and then I got the money I drop into the coin bank. Later, I recall a sister once told me that they had a recycling truck, so I brought them to the recycling truck because I want to help people.
随时都在唱歌。
In Sichuan, China, a 3-year-old boy, Qi Miao, is a vegetarian since birth. His parents manage to cook meals that are nutritious and tasty. Qi Miao's grandparents used to disapprove the diet, but when they noticed the boy has better immune system than other children, they have now come to accept the plant-based diet.
This child who grabbed a cart full of vegetables is called Qi Miao. He is 3 years old and is a vegetarian baby. The most challenging part of being a vegetarian is his grandparents' disapproval.
爸爸妈妈就很反对，很担心哈。
Our parents disagreed because they worried that he won't have enough nutrients, but we turned their worries into creativity, so we make sure there are a variety of vegetables and bean products to ensure he has a balanced diet.
品啊都很常跟小七苗说，来保障这个一个营养的一个均衡。
Both of Qimiao's parents are Tzu Chi volunteers, and they've been adopting the vegetarian diet for a long time. So they've got great cooking skills to prepare delicious dishes that made the child enjoy the meals very much.
I think his body condition is quite good. That's the reason I insisted on the vegetarian diet. Other children might cough in winter, but he won't. I think his immune system, his heart and respiratory system, and his digestions are pretty good.
Now the grandparents no longer disapproved, as they've witnessed how the vegetarian diet can make the child strong and healthy.
13-year-old Guo Shunzhi is a student at Tzu Chi International School in Malaysia. After learning about intensive livestock farming in a class, he decided to give up his love for meat and become a vegetarian. His influence gradually persuaded the whole family to adopt the new diet.
Kok Sun Chi is quite lively and outgoing and loves sports, especially badminton. After a humanities course at Tzu Chi International School, he decided to give up his love of chicken breasts and other animal proteins and was determined to become a lifelong vegetarian.
After we experienced being in a tent, the teacher also showed us a video of animals being slaughtered. We learned they never had a good place to sleep or rest. They had no place to move about. It was really pitiful, and then they are slaughtered. It's a terrible death, so I thought to myself, it's better to be a vegetarian.
To become more kind, he was able to change his eating habits in just 1 month, which later influenced his whole family to become vegetarian.
After a month of going to school, he completely changed to a vegetarian diet. He came back to ask us, can you not eat meat? Can we all be vegetarian? The humanities lesson also taught him that scientists have data to say vegetarian food is not necessarily unhealthy. Many athletes eat vegetarian food and perform very well.
What a child has learned is good. He learns love and charity, and when he comes back home, we have seen this child change. We must cooperate with our child, and we must cooperate and identify with him. Let's all grow together. This is quite important.
After becoming vegetarian, he does not see any loss of physical strength. He continues to promote the benefits of vegetarianism to relatives and friends, persuading them to choose a kinder, meatless diet.
Many dogs and cats taken from illegal breeders usually end up in animal shelters waiting to be adopted. However, some animals suffer from poor physical and mental conditions due to abuse and negligence. There are only so many animal welfare groups in Taiwan. It takes consumers like you and I to end the vicious cycle of illicit breeding.
At that time when I was interacting with her and I would move closer, she would run away with her tail between her legs. I thought about it for a while, and I thought it possible I would take her with me, as I thought that I could change her with my love.
A popular dog food advertisement made Mona's breed, a West Highland White Terrier, very popular, selling for about $3,000 US. This meant that Mona would spend 8 tragic years in a breeding center.
This is a wound from breeding due to repeated surgery. They actually save costs by using the worst quality thread. Unfortunately, she was allergic to this thread, so there's a wound on the side and fluid will come out.
After evaluation by 2 veterinarians, it was found that Mona's wounds may be caused by infection due to long-term breastfeeding or cesarean sections.
This is the location of the operation. Yes, we recommended taking out the sutures and also the inflamed tissue. This could solve the problem once and for all.
Today, Karina is bringing Mona to Baoma's pet restaurant to meet other dogs and learn about how to socialize. There are more than 30 adopted dogs here. Some of them came from breeding centers.
This Mattel's was from Taoyuan Breeding Center ground, and this one was from Miaoli last month. An illegal breeding operation was busted. When it emerged, it was completely hairless.
Because these small dogs are very popular in urban markets, they are being subjected to unscrupulous breeding.
This dog's legs have begun to wither because it has been caged for so long.
Many caring people like Bauma have become the best outlet for these dogs used by unscrupulous breeders.
I also get many dogs from breeders who notify me because they know that I'm compassionate. They say that if I don't want this dog, they'll simply let it go on the street. I wonder how this is possible. Yes, this is a message from legal breeding centers.
As far as the pet breeding industry in Taiwan is concerned, I think the most important thing is to put an end to pet shops selling dogs. Because these pet shops sell dogs, they must purchase dogs at low cost in order to sell for a profit. This means they want to buy at low cost, and this is a type of exploitation, as who is really breeding these dogs?
For a long time, private animal welfare groups have conducted in-depth field investigations to assist animal protection authorities in cracking down on illegal breeding centers.
We'll go to illegal breeding centers to search for evidence and confirm whether they're violating the law. If we determine that there's a violation of the law, we may look for the sale contract between buyers and sellers. We can even give this video and evidence to the police, and the authorities can follow up.
Illegal actions undertaken by breeders typically include location not registered as a legal breeding center, animals raised in poor conditions, sperm extractors or lubricants on site, and females subject to cesarean sections.
Because they're always giving birth and puppies being taken away before being weaned, this may make the female quite angry. They may even bite people. We have even seen dogs with no teeth being rescued, which is quite shocking.
Because of Taiwan's animal protection investigations at the end of last year, a total of 137 people in the country were charged with animal protection cases, not just the pet industry, but the reality of the law enforcement manpower leads us to feel that indeed law enforcement is not doing enough. Some of us believe that there must be civil participation to make up this deficiency.
East found that 160,000 puppies enter the pet market from breeding grounds every year, but as many as 100,000 dogs and cats enter shelters. Genetically deficient or specially bred dogs and cats can even become stray animals. One culprit may actually be consumers.
Many consumers don't think about this matter carefully. It might actually be our personal preference that is causing breeders to make these pure breeds or genetically altered dogs.
The pet market is already an established part of society, but when you think about buying a special breed of dog or cat, please reconsider and think about whether the price and pain may be too much.
Los Angeles International Airport ranks the 4th busiest airport in the world. City volunteers send surgical masks, gloves, and hand sanitizers to airport personnel to safeguard their health. We'll leave you with this footage. Thank you for watching. See you next time.